Hello there and welcome to another Pleasure Beach Experience video. Today I'm joined by Mark and Mike as we're going to talk about our highlights of the 2019 season. Now we could go on about this all week, but we're not going to. We're going to sort of do one or two, maybe three highlights from each sort of trip we did over the year, and there was quite a lot in the end, which, well, they just kept getting planned as we went on, didn't we? Oh, this ride's opening, we need to go there, and stuff like that. So we'll start with our brief UK highlights of stuff like Pleasure Beach, Towers, Fort, and so on. So Mike, we'll start with you. What's been your highlight of going to the Pleasure Beach, let's say?
You put me on the spot there because I had something completely other.
Oh, go on then.
No, I was going to say my big highlight for the UK season was the Towers event.
Oh, the Alton Towers PBE event.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want to do a recap?
Yeah, so we got there, messed about the entrance for a bit.
Yeah.
So we did, it was meant to be Nemesis and Wicker Man.
Yeah.
And it just happened to be the week that they were having problems with Wicker Man. So we took the option to leave Wicker Man out of it and take another coaster instead, which we got Rita, and that went down really well with the group.
Did?
It's, how many of us was there, 60? 50, 60?
50, 60, yeah. I can't remember.
So,
no, there was more than that actually, I'm sure there was 80. I can't remember.
Either way, there was got half an hour in Rita, and it's a short coaster.
Yeah.
So it went everyone that wanted plenty of goes on, got plenty of goes on it, which is really good. And then we had Nemesis at the end of the day.
Yeah, we did. So,
which was a great ERT.
It has to be said that Alton Towers dealt with that event fantastically. Yeah. The communication we had from the park leading up to it, they knew there was issues with Wicker Man. They got in touch with me like really early on. As soon as they knew, they got in touch with me and they let me know what was going on. And they said, look, we don't think it's going to be ready for your event. So just in case it isn't, is there another ride that you guys would have? So we had a good think about it and we said, well, any will do really, just anything that's available, because we didn't want to put Towers out really, we wanted to do what worked for Towers as well, and everyone in the group was really understanding, and it turned out to be a fantastic day of the season really. I won't put you on the spot again, so I'll put Mark on the spot instead. Any UK highlights that come to mind for you?
The Thorpe event.
Thorpe Park event, yeah.
It was just so well done.
Yeah.
You know, that backstage tour of Stealth was it just blew me away.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, being taken into the drum room, seeing how it launches you, was just like, this is ace.
Yeah.
It was like geek heaven in there, and even when I was there the other week, when you launched down Stealth, I was thinking, I was on that launch section. And it's just like, obviously you get some unique angles for the geeks to like, looking back down the whole length into the station, you think, yeah, this is ace, and it was so well done for that.
The thing with the Thorpe event as well is it was a kind of a chance email to Thorpe to ask if we could do an event. We didn't really know if it would be possible to do an event at Thorpe or Towers. We organised the Thorpe event first. We organised the Thorpe event back in January, and it was one of those where we were really limited on numbers, and it was a difficult one to sell because we had to figure out how we can best do it, and we put it on sale publicly and it sold out in an hour. So we just had to take everything straight back off because we didn't want to be advertising an event that we couldn't sell, and it sold out so quickly. And it was such a popular event as well on the day. Everyone was so happy. Yeah, but we got so much more than we expected.
It was, yeah.
I mean, we did the Swarm ERT for an hour, which was great. I'm not the biggest fan of the Swarm, but it just seemed to really run in really well in that hour. Are you alright?
Just got a tickle in me, bro.
As the hour went on the Swarm, it just got better and better and better, and everyone was just having such a great time on that ERT. But the star of the show was the Stealth tour.
Yeah, it was. Without
doubt. I mean, we thought we'd maybe see in the station, maybe see a train get taken off, go in the shed. We didn't expect to be walking right up to the top hat on the service walkway. No. That was incredible.
It's just that when we was obviously in the op cabin as well,
yeah.
And you see how good of a view that they've got every day on that, and like, this is how we do this, and it was brilliant. even like when we got taken into the shed and saw like a train being dismantled and stuff like that, it was absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and we'll no doubt be looking to do events at Fort Park and Alton Towers again next year. I think it'd be criminal not to, after how well both of them went this year, to be honest. And then we've had plenty of trips out to the Pleasure Beach. We attempted to ride the big one 25 times on its anniversary. We didn't even get close.
16 I got.
And then on the final weekend, we smashed it.
Mm.
Yeah.
We smashed it in the end. But I think for me, a particular highlight with Pleasure Beach this season has been getting the POVs for this channel. Been trying to do that for so many years, and to finally be able to do it was fantastic. And it's made for some interesting videos, like us on the big one.
Yeah, I was literally just thinking the same thing. It's like when you look back and you think, wow, just me and you charging around
With a load of sandbags.
A lot of sandbags on the big one. It's not often that you get that kind of hospitality really from any part really. So that was just brilliant.
That was fantastic. And then we've, like I say, been on the big one so many times this season. That's probably been my main highlight of going to Pleasure Beach, was just every time I've gone, I've just done the big one so many times. I've been quite lucky as well. It's not been shut that much because of the wind.
No.
So I think we can move on from the UK.
Just there, like obviously in relation to Pleasure Beach, is like the Easter weekend that we had.
Oh yes.
On the Good Friday and the Easter Saturday is probably one of the best weekends I've ever had at Pleasure Beach.
That was good.
You know, and we had them night rides, didn't we, on the Easter Saturday when it was just dead still.
Yeah.
And it was literally probably some of the best rides I think we've had on it all year.
Is that the one where we all came off the big one absolutely raving, saying that's the best ride we've ever had on it?
Yeah, it was absolutely flying, wasn't it?
Yeah, flying. We ran round to get back on it again before it had shut. It was just, was absolutely
Was it when
amazing.
Mark Dawson was with us?
Yes, it was.
Yeah,
I think.
he was raving about.
I think we all. I mean, there was so many people with us, and
Yeah.
we all just legged it round for another go.
Yeah.
That was.
Oh yeah, we were sprinting up the ramp.
Yeah.
I've not done that for a while.
Yeah.
No, I've not done it since either. It was well worth it. That was running fantastically.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can move on from the UK.
Yeah.
Yeah, we sure?
Yes.
Yeah, good stuff. Okay, let's talk about America, and let's not keep it too long. So I'm going to make this nice and difficult because it was a really good trip. One highlight each. Mike.
One highlight.
Put him on
from
the
that
spot
trip.
again.
I know.
One highlight from that trip.
I'm going to guess it wasn't the Beast.
Funnily enough, no. I think if I really had to nail it down to one thing, it'd be driving up Cedar Point Drive over the causeway.
Yeah,
If I really had to nail it down to just one thing,
yeah,
it's the view of Cedar Point lit up at night.
yeah. That was good. I mean, last year when I drove in, it was in the morning after a very long flight and a very limited amount of sleep, and then to get back up, drive from Detroit straight to Cedar Point and see it all lit up was amazing. But I was so tired that I didn't properly drink it in, whereas this time I could, and I wasn't driving this time, so I didn't nearly put the car into Lake Erie looking at the view. And I just got to admire it as we drove all the way around to Hotel Breakers, so I can totally see where you're coming from with that, and I do wish I'd filmed it for the travel vlog, so it will be getting filmed next year for the travel vlog because that view is incredible. My highlight from that trip is Coastamania, because the year before I'd sat there with Mullet and we'd be going, we need to do Coastamania at some point. We knew about it, we didn't know a lot about it, but we knew little bits of it. So we did a bit of research while we were sat there eating our garlic breadsticks from by Maverick, and we were like, we need to do that next year. So all of the trip that we did this year was all based on Coastamania. If we had not got tickets for Coastamania, it would have been a disaster because the whole trip was based on that one day. So to get the tickets as soon as it went on sale, and then to just be knowing that that was the last thing we were doing on the trip was great. And I had a bit of a worry on the morning of thinking, is this going to be as good as what I'm hoping? It's a, 18-hour day in a theme park. And I'm thinking, please go to plan, please go to plan. And all of it was fantastic. Riding Raptor in the morning, 7 a.m. ERT till 8 a.m. And then going, what did we go to? Was it Millennium Force after that? And a couple of
Valraven a few times,
Yeah.
and then Millennium Force.
Valraven and Millennium Force and Gatekeeper that followed. They were fantastic as well to do on the ERT. And then at the end of it, there was the Magnum ERT for an hour with 3 trains in the dark, no lights on the boardwalk, so just complete darkness when you're riding it. Not many people on the train, no trims.
Nothing.
It was, and the staff were just loving it, giving welcome to Magnum. We're taking you 205 foot high in the sky, same height as Still Vengeance, but without the 5-hour queue. It was just such good vibes. But yeah,
Don't forget the cruise.
Yeah, the cruise was ace,
fantastic.
but Coastamania for me was, well, that was my highlight.
That was like the day as well where we had the no trims at 7:30, I think it was, on that one.
Yeah, in the morning.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just ace. So.
Your highlight of the America trip?
Other than them ones that you mentioned, if I could bottle a day, it would be Coney Island.
Yeah,
And riding Cyclone for like unlimited amount of times. It was just, it set the tone for the trip for me.
Yeah.
And it was just such a good day. After a long travel time that we had, and then to have the time that we had at Coney Island was just simply phenomenal. It was, like I said, Cyclone, I think we just kept going like this all the time. Going, can we have another lap? Can we have another lap? And can we have another lap? And that to me was like just a massive highlight, because you see it all in like GTA 4 and stuff like that, and you're thinking, yes, this is ace.
To put that into perspective, you left Wigan way before I left Crewe.
Yeah.
But I think we left Crewe station at 6 o'clock. You guys left Manchester at 5 o'clock in the evening.
No, it would have been about, I think it was about 6:30 we were in the pub.
Yeah.
Something like that.
We left Crewe at 8.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we convened in Thompson's in town.
Yeah.
About 6:30ish, had a pint and then got the coach down.
So you guys got the train, the National Express. Yeah. We got the train. Stuart Blair flew down.
Didn't he?
Yeah. And Andy obviously flew down as well, I think, or did he fly from... No, he flew to New York a lot earlier than us from Edinburgh.
There,
So we all got there in different ways.
Long day.
It was a long journey from where we were all the way down to Gatwick. And we, like you say, we started at 8 o'clock. We went overnight to Gatwick, sat in the travel lodge with Mullet just chatting nonsense.
Yeah.
Mullet set the travel lodge fire alarms off by boiling the kettle under the fire alarm.
Good effort.
Yeah, good effort, that one. And then on to the flight. We get to New York. We have, half an hour in the hotel and go, right, Coney Island. Because we didn't really have any rest.
No.
Yeah, I think we only stopped in the hotel for half an hour. Tops.
Yeah.
Just checked in, quick change, back out pretty much.
out.
Yeah, and then we stayed there till, 10 at night?
10 at night it was, yeah.
It was 11, I think.
10 or 11 o'clock, weren't it? Because obviously, I think you guys went on the log flume, didn't you, about 9 p.m.
It was late, wasn't it?
Yes, it was. Soggy boxes at 9 p.m. was not fun. So your highlight was, as a recap from America?
I said going into Cedar Point.
Going into Cedar Point. Mine was Coastamania, yours is Coney Island.
Yeah.
So many highlights from that trip though. I will put a card in the top of the screen to the whole America wrap-up video that we did back in the summer. So moving on, Mike, you can have a little sleep for this part, was Walibi Holland at the start of July. For me as well, I did Walibi in April, did a construction tour of Untamed, but in July we went for the opening of Untamed, but the day before the park was just gutted because everyone was waiting for Untamed, so nobody actually was in the park that day, and we got to hammer everything, didn't we, because it was just all so dead.
There's literally nobody in there really. We literally walked on every single ride.
Yeah.
It was walk on.
We were hoping it'd be quiet, but we were shocked at just how quiet it actually was. And then it gets to the next day and you've got Untamed's opening, and it was incredible. It just totally took me by surprise. As I mentioned recently in another video, did not expect to like Untamed at all, and just, it was fantastic. But what was your highlight? I know you're going to say Untamed, but what about it was your highlight in particular?
It was just the old atmosphere when we was in there and they was going through, and literally the whole plaza area was just packed full of people, and you could feel the atmosphere building. And then when they basically said, right, now it's open, and it was just me, you, Jimmy, Paul was there.
Zero G reviews.
Zero G was through. And literally, you could just see us charging down.
Yeah.
You're like, and you could just, the atmosphere at that point was like, it was electric, really.
Yeah, it was.
It was just so infectious that everyone was like, I cannot wait for this to get going. And like I said, the build up to it and everyone just piling in that area was just that to me was like one of the best parts of the whole day.
And then we met Fred Grubb from RMC2.
Yeah.
We met Fred and we met Barry from Global Coasters, and they did a nice little interview for us for the channel.
Yeah.
Had a good chat with them, and it was nice to talk to both really, and it was nice to learn a bit about RMC and hear that they've got quite a lot planned that they've not announced. It was interesting.
It was interesting, but even was like we're talking to the CEO, weren't we, of Walibi? Obviously that's not in the actual video, but we was talking to her and she was literally just telling us they were so open about everything, and like it was just nice that everyone was so open and talking about everything about the rides. And brilliant.
It does make you hope that Walibi don't wait too long for the next coaster, because it was the build up for the whole project was just incredible. And then when you actually met Scott from Walibi, and he was just as nice in person as he seemed in his videos, it was great. But yeah, I think we can move on.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Sweden. I'll go to you, Mike, because obviously you've not been to Leesburg before.
Yeah, no, I've never been to Sweden before.
We made a snap decision to go to Kolmården as well.
Yeah.
You got on your first RMC.
I did.
What was your overall highlight of that trip?
If I had to nail one thing, it would be Wildfire.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved Wildfire when I did eventually get on it.
I think we need to discuss this though. You weren't a big fan of Helix, were you really?
No, not particularly. I mean, it's a good car. It's not that I'm not a big fan of it. I liked it.
Yeah.
But I do prefer Icon.
Really?
I just prefer Icon, yeah. I think one of the things I did say is that the seat, where the seatbelt buckle is on Helix, really digs into me.
Yeah.
Like, really uncomfortably digs into me. So it probably detracts a bit from it.
One thing I liked about Helix is new lap bars, and this is purely from a filming perspective, is it made doing a POV on Helix a hell of a lot easier than doing one on Icon, because it doesn't have the handle that sits here. The handles are like down here, so the chest harness was just, you could see everything you needed to see on the camera, whereas on the old style one, if you're filming anything on it, it's quite difficult.
Yeah, it was, let's say, but like with the Icon one, it sits quite, so it's near enough all in view, whereas the Helix one just managed to get it so it disappeared basically. So
my highlight of the Sweden trip is probably all the behind the scenes stuff we did as part of the event. Because of the group size that we had on the event at Leesburg, it was really difficult for Leesburg to consider where they could take us in terms of space. Helix's garage is massive, but stuff like Leesburg Bannon's garage is tiny, so it was really difficult for them to sort of say, yeah, we can do a behind the scenes tour of all the rides, but we can't do this one, but we can do this one. And I think they managed it perfectly. I think everyone was really happy, because we did the Balder and Helix ERT, and then after those we went straight into the Helix workshop, watched the train being taken off, stood on the transfer track as the train went off, and we weren't expecting it. Pontus was just like, you two, you're closest, come with me, you've got a camera. Like, oh, okay then. We had no idea where we were going. But as well, on those ARTs, I didn't really go on the rides much, because I was given the chance to sit in the control booms with the ride operator and just sit and watch all of the PB group having so much fun on the rides. It made me proud of what PB had achieved that weekend, because it showed a perfect connection with the theme park and everyone that was there, and it was just such a tight-knit group between the club and the park, and everyone was just merged like that.
I did quite a lot of the ERT of Balder.
Yeah.
With
theme park review, of course, yeah.
And that was really good fun.
Yeah.
That was great fun. Obviously, me and Rob Alvey sat next to each other on Balder, which was interesting. If anyone knows what Intamin seats are like, trying to get the two of us into that seat
I can imagine it was quite a fun experience.
It was tight.
But
it was a really good event.
We'd had it planned a lot longer than theme park review. It was kind of quite a last minute decision for those to be there as well. But again, Leesburg handled it really well. They just sort of like, they're going to be here, you're going to be here, and it was the way that they dealt with us both was like, you guys are all going to have to merge and do the same ARTs, and everyone was like, yeah, fair enough, and it worked perfectly. But before we move on from Sweden, what was your highlight?
So many to mention, but I've got to be honest with you, like Mike says, but for me, when we was in the Wildfire area.
Yeah.
You know, looking at on the trains, getting
Oh,
underneath.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And getting underneath, like, obviously I love RMCs, but to actually get so close to the trains and then be underneath and you was allowed to, like, touch it, even showed you how they measure, like, the wheels,
Yeah.
to see whether the winds...
Gauges and stuff.
Make sure they're in the right places.
Yeah.
I totally forgot we went in a wildfire maintenance shed. After Sweden, we had a bit of a lull, didn't we? We didn't do quite as much because summer season was kicked in. We knew the parks were going to be really busy. We went to Pleasurewood Hills
Yep.
on an epic 6-hour journey each way with my car, decided, do you know what? I'm going to mess up one of the wheel bearings here. So we'd hardly got out of Cheshire and there was a wheel bearing issue. Now my car would generally drive to Walibi Holland and back on 1.5, maybe 2 tanks of fuel. Pleasurewood Hills, 4 tanks.
Yeah.
So yeah, bit of a problem with the wheel bearing there. Thankfully that was resolved quite quickly because my car is my little hero. It does fantastic with fuel. I can get so many places on a decent amount of fuel even in this day and age where everything's so expensive.
Yeah.
So that was the only thing we did between Sweden and Madrid really, but Park Warner Madrid, you guys had an epic journey on that first day in Madrid and I'm interested to know more about it because I don't know how it took you so long to get from our hotel to Park to Attractions because it's never taken me as long as it took you.
It's because their transport system is so confusing.
It was, and when we got to the train station, like, we was like, I don't know where to go here.
Yeah.
So we was trying to get Google Translate out.
Oh,
we was
God.
showing like that to try and read in front of him. Literally, that was giving us no idea either. So we went to the guy and went...
He was even less use.
He helped us to a point where he was literally like, no, you need to go here first, and then you need to get another ticket there to go there.
Yeah.
Because by the time it took us to do that, we'd missed the train, and then it was half an hour to the next train.
And then we were having trouble with, well, there was only one of the ticket machines was taking cards.
Yeah.
And absolutely all of us are stood there with cards in our hand because we hadn't took much cash with us.
Yeah.
Don't ever give these two any credit for a PBE event because we don't have this nonsense on events, do we?
No, we're alright when we're in the park, but it's getting to the park that's the issue.
Terrible organisation, gentlemen. Terrible.
It's terrible. It's a good job though when we got to Park Attracciones, everyone had left.
Yeah, it was dead, wasn't
It never is busy. That's the
It was
thing. You
constantly dead.
It was dead.
can only do that park in an hour because there's no one. I don't know how they make any money. There's no one that ever goes. I've never been in there when
The
it's busy.
Colombian land was packed and that was it.
That sounds familiar. Any highlights from that park?
I thought Abysmal was ace, you know.
Yeah.
It really, for me, Abysmal was just absolutely a unique coaster, and that's the standout ride of that park for me.
I should say the reason I didn't go is because I've been there 3 times before, no new credits, and I just couldn't be bothered with it. I thought, do you know what, I'm going to go to the water park at Park Warner, go and just chill in the sun, and it's a good shout. I think we all had a good day doing what we wanted to do.
I really liked Tarantula, the spinning coaster.
Yeah.
But that's the best one of those I've been on.
Yeah, that is good.
Because it seems to be, I always find with all the other ones I've been on, like Dragon's Fury, like Spinball is of that type, they all seem to be quite restricted.
Yeah.
Whereas that actually lets itself go.
It's got a
and
lot
it
of
gets
space.
going properly.
Moving on to Park Warner then. A very, very good park, one I always enjoy. Does come with some serious issues though. Capacity on the rides, well...
Capacity won't be an issue if they could run the trains
Yeah.
as reliably as they should be able to. The only is just like 5 minutes, and then the next train goes.
Yeah, 5-10 minute dispatches on the coasters is just shocking.
Well, Batman, the glowing issue is get rid of the VR.
Yeah, the VR's a joke.
It just kills it. Any chance it had of having a throughput, it's...
The problem is, we say that, but I've experienced that coaster without the VR, and the operations were dreadful then as well. There's just no urgency in the park to move any of the queues, and I think it's a clear issue with the ownership, because I think if it was owned by another company, I don't think they'd stand for it being so bad, because it was 5-10 minute dispatches on every coaster, and you're talking about coasters that have got no queues taking nearly an hour. You get to the queue and you see a train's worth of people in front of you, and then the train's full in the station, and you're thinking, oh, hey up, this is going to take 10-15 minutes at most.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. It takes an hour. It's just, no, it's so bad, so bad. And then you've got the dreadful management of the queues where the queue jumping is just the worst it is anywhere.
I mean, that Rapids queue, it's the fact that there's an open
There's
gate.
literally an open gate
queue.
halfway through the queue line area, and people were just going in. If we'd have seen that before we got in the queue, I think we would have just done it. Because everyone else was doing it, so we should have done the same. We should have definitely done the same.
Put one person in the queue and then all waltz in like everyone else does.
That's the thing, and they get really aggressive over it as well. It's just so frustrating that kind of level of queue jumping is allowed. It takes away from what is a beautiful theme park with some very, very good rides.
Stunning.
It looks stunning. The whole set of the place is done so well. Yeah. Like every area is themed fantastically. Yeah. There's no bits out of place or anything. The rides.
I mean, I've got two of my top 10 coasters that are in that park.
Yeah, and
they're that good. Some of the coasters.
I'd love to see Six Flags own that again. I know Six Flags have got questionable operations, but they're perfect compared to what we witnessed there in September. But I've got to say, the water park at Park Warner is fantastic. They just need a hotel. They just need a hotel now, and then they've got the perfect package. They need a hotel, and then new owners, and then it'd be spot on. I'd go every year without doubt. Moving on.
Yep.
Stunt show was ace though as well.
Oh yeah, that's brilliant.
It's literally putting my heart on the whole thing.
That is brilliant.
The stunt show there is well worth a trip.
If anyone wonders why there's no old BMW 3 Series in Madrid, they're all in there.
Yeah, they're all in that show.
They're brilliant though, absolutely fantastic.
The smell of burning rubber as you watch that show is fantastic. Yes.
Because all these cars, none of them have got full exhausts on them either.
No.
So it's brilliant.
That's where all the budgets go for park operations.
Yeah.
They all go on the cars in that show. New tyres and fuel.
Brilliant. Such
Excellent
a good show.
demonstration of noise from Mike. Can we have that again, please?
That's basically it for an hour, isn't it?
Oh, don't change.
Donutting 3 Series Beamers.
Please don't change. I'm going to talk about the IAPA Expo in Europe in Paris briefly. There is a big section of one of the PVE monthlies from, I think it's October or September, where I spoke all about what I saw there. But that for me was a big highlight. Did 3 days at the expo, got to meet a lot of roller coaster manufacturers, got to learn quite a bit about the industry. But yeah, I just wanted to touch on that because it was really good, but I'll put a card in the top of the screen for that one. And briefly, we wanted to mention one thing about Halloween, and that was horror at Hitchinbrook House. You've probably seen a video.
Yeah.
You've seen us all absolutely bricking it. Mike has volunteered to do it on his own next year with a camera strapped to
I
it.
haven't.
So
Can I just say now I haven't?
Okay, we'll allow you to go round with mullet then.
Oh, God.
You two.
you, Mullet and Studs can go. We'll wait in the car park and we'll go and we'll have lots of cups of tea and everything ready for you. Because I'm not sure I'm mentally prepared to put myself through that ever again.
I watched the video of that walking home through some dark bits of my area, and I was scared watching it, for God's sake. I was like, this is not the best thing to watch walking down this street.
No, it was not the best thing to edit in the office with the light off. It was quite scary. And yeah, that was 2-hour drive home. And all I could think about was all the scenes in that, and I was just like, nah, I don't like this.
No.
But we'll probably do it again.
We'll do it again next year. I mean, we would have mentioned it at the Halloween vlog, but it was just because it was how it fell. It
was quite late on, wasn't it?
It was after we'd already filmed it, so it was just epic and messed up in points. And it's just like, I still get nightmares about it. Nightmares.
So is there anything else you want to mention about the season? Highlights or lowlights? Go on.
The one thing, obviously, it reminded me when you mentioned about Park Warner's water park is when me, you and Mullet went to Stoke.
Winter Wonderland.
Yeah.
What? when we went to Waterworld.
The slides over.
Yeah, they do.
It was such a good evening that we had there, and it was such a good hospitality from them to open it up, and the less trapdoors, the better.
I'm not doing any more trapdoor slides. That's another thing we're volunteering Mike for. I'm not doing any more of that.
That was absolutely such a good fun 2 hours that we spent there. It was just ace.
It was. The downside was it was so dark in there that some of the footage didn't come out because we filmed so much that night. But filming in dark slides with a GoPro, it was never going to go well really, but we made the best of it. And yeah, it was an interesting night. Of course, we've done the Sandcastle as well. There's going to be a lot more water park footage on the channel next year actually. We've got quite a lot of water park trips planned already, including a couple of water parks we've never actually been to. So that'll be interesting to do. You two need to get Tenerife sorted for Siam Park. I'm just going to say that now. Get it sorted. But yeah, anything else you can think of from this season?
I think something that I've really enjoyed is the social aspect of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, opening weekend and closing weekend at Pleasure Beach, the socials and the pub in town and whatever, brilliant.
Yeah, fair enough. I think that's it. I think we're done. I think we'll remember some highlights once we finish filming. We always do.
Always do. I mean, to be honest with you, I think it's probably one of the best seasons for a long, long time that we've all had.
The biggest season we've ever had in it.
Yeah, and still plenty to come this winter on Pleasure Beach Experience YouTube, and next year will be bigger than this year somehow. But it is. I'm just looking behind the camera. It's our planning board for next year, and all I'm seeing is we're filled up until July. It's going to be very, very busy. Can't wait to get started really. I'm going to do a video in January with announcing everything that we're doing over the year because we're still finalising a couple of things. But yeah, I think that'll do from us for now. Let us know in the comments what your highlights of the theme park season in 2019 has been. Let us know which parks you visited for the first time, ones which surprised you the most, ones that were not so good, and just everything really. Just let us know how your season went in the comments. Well, that's it from us for now. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next Pleasure Beach Experience video.